On April 2nd, U.S. President Donald Trump announced import tariffs on more than 180 economies.
At the event, the U.S. president also brought a board showing the tax rates applied to each economy, of which the UK, Brazil, Singapore will be subject to a 10% tax. The European Union, Malaysia, Japan, South Korea, and India will be subject to 20 to 26%. China, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, and Madagascar are among the countries subject to the highest tax rates, ranging from 34% to 49%, respectively. About half an hour after holding the board announcing the reciprocal tariffs on each trading partner, President Trump signed the executive order to impose the tariffs. A government official said the tariffs will take effect from April 9th.
We're going to impose half the tariffs they impose on us. That means we're not imposing the full rate.
I could do that, but it would be difficult for a lot of countries. We don't want to do that, Trump said at the White House. On the board announcing the tariffs, the White House listed the tariffs that countries are imposing on the United States but did not explain how those numbers were calculated. For example, according to them, Vietnam, China, and the European Union are imposing tariffs on the United States at 90%, 67%, and 39%, respectively. Previously, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told Republican senators in the Senate that reciprocal tariffs would be the ceiling that the U.S. would impose on countries. This level could be reduced if trading partners met the Trump administration's requirements. However, some products from countries will not be subject to reciprocal tariffs. For example, aluminum, steel, cars, and auto parts that were previously subject to a 25% tariff by the U.S. will continue to be subject to this rate. So will gold, copper, pharmaceuticals, semiconductors, and wood. Some types of energy and minerals that are not available in the U.S. are also exempt from reciprocal tariffs. Mr. Trump also said that he would impose a 10% import tax on all imports into the U.S., starting April 5th.
That means all countries and territories will be subject to this general 10% import tax.
Then, starting April 9th, the country's largest trading partners will be subject to a higher reciprocal tax, according to the table Mr. Trump announced. In his speech on April 2nd, he repeatedly praised the new import tariffs, calling them a statement of American economic independence. He also repeated his assertion that jobs and factories would return to the United States, and that prices would fall for consumers as domestic production and competition increase.
It will be a golden age for America, Trump declared. The U.S. president said he was putting America first.
With today's actions, we are protecting our great farmers. They have been hurt by countries around the world, he said. U.S. stock futures fell shortly after Mr. Trump announced the reciprocal tariffs.
S&P 500 futures fell 1.7%, while Nasdaq futures lost nearly 2%. This showed that investors expected Wall Street to plunge in the April 3rd trading session.
The world spot gold price also hit a new high of $3,159 an ounce. In February, Mr. Trump signed a memorandum asking U.S. trade officials to study the trade policies of each country and propose corresponding tariffs.
Recently, he has repeatedly praised April 2nd as America's Liberation Day.
Trump said that American businesses and people are harmed by free trade agreements, causing $3,000 billion of imports to flood into the U.S. each year. The trade imbalance between the U.S. and the world has caused a deficit of goods here up to $1,200 billion. In addition to addressing trade issues, he also sees import tariffs as a tool to curb drug smuggling and illegal immigration into the U.S., increase government budgets, and boost domestic production. Trump's policies have escalated global trade tensions. So far, Canada, China, and Europe have announced retaliatory measures against the U.S. Investment, consumer, and business confidence in the U.S. has also declined.
Economists warn that trade protectionism will only increase domestic and global inflation.
If Mr. Trump increases import tariffs by 20%, the average American household will spend an additional $3,400 a year, according to research by Yale University.